Hi, I'm Tipton Judas Priest. This is my studio, the nerve center of the new album. We're recording it here and on digital, at an analog desk. But really, I'm here to tell you about the guitars I'm using. So, this is a guitar I use most. It's one that's I'm sure that a lot of you guys have seen me play on stage. It's a Hamer. Designed by me, a little bit different to anything that you ever find on the shelf. It's got EMG pickups, just one volume pot, cuts down the wiring. The neck that's designed and was measured by caliper off an SG, because that's the guitar I really started to play, Gibson SG. So this neck's very similar to an SG neck. It's just got a three-way toggle switch, and the rest of it's in the playing. But to move on to other guitars, I haven't got all my guitars here, but I've got a selection that we're using on the album, so come through this way. By the way, any of you thought that Scott Travis plays drums? You're wrong, it's me. I play drums on the album. Okay, well, here's the this is a very early guitar. Again, you may have seen me use it on stage. The chrome scratch plate reflects the light, and this is one of the first guitars that I ever had. It's a little bit battered now, as you can see, but still usable and still sounds good. It's a Telecaster, and these are I use this for getting, you know, like it's probably out of tune now, but it's got a very nice ring to it. There's nothing like the sound of a Telecaster, and it's great for just doing chords, simple musical chords. Comes across on an album as a great contrast to like the distorted, heavy guitars that we know before. This again is a Hamer, and this is my own design. And it looks a bit strange, but there's always method in madness, and for me anyway, this is a great thing, because on stage I still play some stretch stuff, and so I need to get the guitar at this angle, and as you can see, it just fits nicely to me. So this was all tailor-made. Again, it's got a very narrow neck, which I like to play. But the beauty of this guitar is we can be doing anything on stage, playing with our teeth, or jumping around, and then I can just find the right position to play. So it's got a certain nice line to it, but it's very functional, and it also balances the guitar. If you've ever tried to design guitars, they can look very good, but they can do this or do this, and with this guitar, it's just really nice balanced, and it's just always in a good position to play. Okay. This is a Les Paul. I used to play Les Pauls a lot. I don't play them very much now. It's very good for blues, as I'll show you later on. And I was a blues player when we first started, although I don't really play very much now. And this is a reissue. But when I bought this guitar, I got a friend of mine to bring half a dozen guitars around, and I tried them all, and this was the best sounding. There's Sean Lynch over there trying to creep in. He's going to do a little bit of editing on the studio, and he's again he's noted for his overacting. So this was a Les Paul. It's got a great sound, great tone. I tried, as I say, a selection of them, and this really matches some of the old Sunbursts, the old gold tops, the 57s, the 59s. This is really competes with them on a sound level. And it's got a use for recording. It's if you want that sort of very bitey, sustained sound. Okay, acoustic guitars. We don't really want to talk about those. You know all about acoustic guitars, and this one isn't even mine anyway. Hey, that's another Hamer, very similar to the other, but with a maple neck. This is a great guitar. It's an ESP, and They recently supplied us with these. We started to do Diamonds and Rust back in the acoustic style, and this, although again probably out of tune. No, it isn't. Sounds great on stage. It amplifies well, and it's just a really good tool. And it's something that sounds good in the studio as well. So thank you, ESP. Okay, now this guitar is an Ibanez 7-string, which I've recently started to play and really enjoy now. It's great because you can get the normal guitar sound, but then go down to the B string to something ultra heavy. And it's very versatile. It's got because of the, you get some very low points and very high points. It works well with an octave pedal. It's just got that very modern, gritty sound. It's something that we actually use a lot from now on, because the priests have always been versatile and we've always evolved. And this is probably the shape of things to come, and one shouldn't get left behind. So I've worked a lot with this guitar recently. It's a good guitar. Thank you. Thank you, Ibanez. Bit of name dropping. This is a lovely guitar. It's not my favourite guitar, but it's an Epiphone and it's a 12-string. This definitely will be out of tune. It's not too bad, but you can see the richness, the quality on this guitar. This is a great guitar for writing songs. Everything sounds sweet on it. It's almost like putting through a pitch bender. It almost writes songs itself. You can play simple chords and they sound good. So this is a great thing to sit in the afternoon and play. And very often, it'll just throw up really good songs. Simple chord sequences sound good on it, and they lean towards melody. So I love this guitar. It's not my favourite guitar. I'll show you my favourite guitar in a minute. It's in that case there. But it's a wonderful instrument, and it's very inspirational to play. That's just a 12-string, but in actual fact, very interestingly, I've had 6 strings taken off, and it's got what they call I think a Memphis tuning or something like that. Somebody showed me, and we have actually played it on this album with that tuning. It sounds a bit like a banjo, but I've got to put the other 6 strings back on to make it a 12-string. Which I'll do one day when I get the time. This is a guitar I've recently bought and I love it. It's you all know what this is, a Gibson, and it's again it's a really well balanced guitar and great to play. But the reason that I bought this guitar was the sound of it. It just sounds great. You plug it in, it sings. It's got a lot of depth, a lot of bottom end, and it's just a great tool, really good guitar. Volume control's in the centre, which I didn't realise when I bought it. Whether that's normal, I don't know, but it's a little bit awkward to get to. But it's a great. I should probably take this on the road with me next time I go. Lovely guitar, I really like it. Now, well, forget this bass. This is mine, but I don't play the bass guitar very often. It's an old Guild, so it's got a certain value, and it does sound good. It sounds really good for a bass guitar, but there are a lot of basses around that do, I suppose, sound better now. But I'm not a bass guitar player, so I'm quite happy with this. Just put some rough bass lines down on sides. This is an old Hamer that I've converted to play as a synth guitar. This has seen a lot of work on stage. As you can see, it's very worn, very weathered. It's been around the world a lot of times just as a normal guitar, but now it's sort of semi-retired as my synth guitar. And I don't play a lot of synth guitar at the moment, but there's still some on this album, and we still use it occasionally. I just blend it in with a normal guitar sound. And so this is sort of, this guitar I'm very fond of. It's travelled the length and breadth of the world several times. It's done good service, and so now gets rewarded by having a good home here. This one is one of my favourites. It was one of my favourites, and of course it's a Stratocaster. One of the first guitars I ever owned was a Strat, and I was actually playing in Newcastle, a gig in Newcastle, and someone stole it. It was an old salmon pink one, it was about 57, 58, something. I'm never very good on dates. It was a wonderful guitar, and it got stolen from there. So at the time I had very little money and I was about to give up. And a friend of mine bought another Strat round for me, not this one, which I bought for £30. And then eventually Top Rank, where I had it stolen from, Newcastle, gave me a cheque, and there's Rip Ryan's coming up the stairs there, folks. There he goes, look. There he is, drinking a beer.
Yeah, you know. He works me like a dog, so I have to do this. He's a slave grinder.
And so I actually managed to buy a Telecaster, and I became a two-guitar player. But I love this guitar. It's just a wonderful instrument. It's, again, like the Telecaster, it's only got certain uses in a band like Priest, but outside of that it's versatile. It's great to write songs on. You've heard it said before, but it is a blank canvas really. You can do anything with this guitar, and you've only got to beef it up with a few effects, and it's, you know, it's got more than its value on any Priest album. So you can do anything with this guitar that you want, and it's a guitar I'm very fond of. Finally, I've really got some interesting things in these cases. This one, I'll show you this first. This is I don't know what make this is, but there's a funny story attached to this. I bought this guitar it's a see-through guitar, look, and I bought this to put on the wall. I was going to make a lamp out of it, which the people who make it legend wouldn't be very pleased to hear. But I actually cranked it up, and it's on the new album. It sounds great. It's got a unique, very bright sounding guitar, a lot of character, and very heavy guitar. But it's already found a place on the album, so I shan't be making a lamp out of it now. I'm going to use this a lot. A legend, living legend in my own mind. Here's a guitar, if it is, in here. It's quite unusual, and that was the original synth guitar. It's going mouldy now. You can see I haven't used it for a long time. But this is okay to snowboard on as well. You can actually snowboard on this very, very good. So this has got a lot of use. Don't use this at all now. But it's unusual. So I thought it was just worth showing. And two more really that I've got here. This is you've probably all seen if you've seen Judas Priest. I used to play Love Bites with this, and Green Manalishi. This again is an old battered Strat. This is very heavy. If you compare it to this one, I don't know what's inside this, and certainly these gold bars, but they're extremely different in weight, which accounts for the different tonal qualities. And this is fierce. This is a fierce guitar, both for lead and chords. And this again is a really old friend, and it's been everywhere with me. So I don't know whether this is due for retirement, probably is, but it will always have a good home. It's something I would never get rid of, and I'm proud of it. And finally, I think this is my favourite guitar, and this guitar I was really just bought to put on the studio wall. I thought it would look nice over there, and it's the epitome of rock and roll. And I actually bought this when I was doing my solo album, Baptism of Fire, and I bought it home with a view not to playing it. It was just going to be a showpiece, and I plugged this in. These are supposed to feed back and squeal, and this guitar sings. It doesn't feed back. It's got a great tone, it's very buttery quality. And if anybody has heard the album, I use this on the lead break of Enter the Storm. This is a great guitar, and I'd say that out of all the guitars, this is my favourite guitar. I think the shape is the epitome of rock and roll, and the sound of this guitar is so sweet. So, but that's really all I've got here at the moment, and probably this is an appropriate one to end on. I'd say this is my all-time favourite guitar, and maybe I can show you. It's very good for blues, and maybe I can strike up and play a few other things. Thanks. Keep the faith.